Alright. It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020 at 11:08 p.m. Alright guys, just coming here to show you guys that there could be a possibility of something developing in the Atlantic around May 29th, starting to build up, and then probably around June 1st to the 3rd. Let's take a look here at the forecast models. This is from May 30th. Something starts building up here on the Gulf area below Cuba, next to the Yucatan Peninsula, at 1,008 millibars. Let's zoom into this. Right there, 1,008 millibars, right by the Yucatan Peninsula. So that starts to develop there. Then it kind of gets closer to Cuba at 1,002 millibars. And then it gets closer, here you see, closer to Miami, closer to Cuba at 996 millibars. Then it keeps getting, it goes out off the coast of Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina area at 982 millibars. And this is June 3rd. And then it gets to 976 millibars off the coast of North Carolina, South Carolina. And this is June 4th at 971 millibars right there off the coast of Virginia and North Carolina. Then it goes off at 969 millibars, scraping off the Canadian coastline up there. And then it's supposed to shoot off, but it reaches 946 millibars right there. And see if you can see it right there. 946 millibars once it reaches the Canadian coast up there, and it zooms off. So I'm not saying that it's gonna develop, I'm just saying, because you always take these forecasts with a grain of salt, especially past a couple of days, the accuracy of these forecasts gets lesser and less, so you pretty much just get a guesstimate of what's gonna happen. But that's something to keep in mind, that around June 3rd off the coast of Florida, and June 1st it's gonna start building off of Cuba and Florida, then start passing the Florida Panhandle, not Florida Panhandle, the Florida Miami coast, June 2nd, then off 980 millibars off the South Carolina, North Carolina area on June 3rd, then June 4th off North Carolina, and then it heads north to the Canadian area. Alright. This is the moisture map right now on windy.com. This is the moisture and rain being brought right now to the North Carolina, Virginia area. Let's zoom in here. Let's take a look at all the rain and precipitation being brought into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia right now. A lot of people having issues with flooding. Please remember to turn around, don't drown. This is the infrared, the IR loop infrared map of what's happening right now. The swirl is still happening over the Louisiana, Florida Panhandle, South Carolina, North Carolina area, and Tennessee area, Kentucky. It's pretty much just swirling right there in the middle. Let's see if we could zoom in to it better. You can still see the swirl right there over the states. And there's also storms popping off of Texas, Montana, Oklahoma, that whole straight up line up the Midwest. Let's see if we can get closer to it, see all these storms popping off the Midwest. You see that there, the Midwest being active right now, as the forecast models had predicted. Alright, and then let's take a look at Wix charts. This is, I wanted to see a second model showing to see if the storm would develop or would show it somewhere else. And looking at this, there's a low in the middle of the Atlantic, and then there's one by Miami, and then it travels off into the middle of the Atlantic later off in the week. So later off past the 29th. So pretty much the multiple models are saying that something possibly could build in the Atlantic around the 1st, starting the 1st, and then the 3rd and the 5th, kind of wandering off into the Atlantic. So let's keep an eye on that and stay safe, guys, out there. God bless. Just giving you guys a heads up of what could possibly develop. Alright, guys. See you next time.